Welcome back, lovelies, and thanks to everyone who watched my last video about hatching or putting baby chickens underneath a broody hen. That was really encouraging to hear so much from different people, even different people in my community. I appreciated the thumbs ups and the comments and stuff. This video is really fun because I have video footage from the beginning of April, the middle of April, and the end of April, and you really get to see spring come out in all of her glory. My garden goes from mostly brown with bits of green to mostly green with bits of brown. And it's just such a fun, lovely experience. At the beginning, it's so hopeful when you see the baby leaves coming out and bursting into the scene and green grasses come in the field across the creek. And we had such a wet spring, overcast here too. Not very many pockets of sunshine. So when the sun came out sparkling on the water and we got out there to collect another healthy salad, checking on our little baby bunnies, it's just like heaven. Like it just kind of wakens you up out of that winter feeling and starts the process of the chores and the work that sets the ground, prepares the ground for the glory of the summer garden.
Isn't he cute?
Had a couple batches of bunnies. My mamas aren't the greatest of mamas. They're not that great with their babies, so we've had to work at that a little bit.
And there's the
We have a few now. They're right here.
Did not survive. Little eyes are open. Oh, what's he doing? Wait for Betty.
Daffodils are some of the first to show their color in the spring, and I have these all along my driveway when I pull in, and I just can't wait for them to open up and let me know that we have finally made it. The growing season is here. I love the English daisies and then the pansies, and pretty soon you'll see we have more pansies and the Johnny jump ups. But it also means that my greenhouse gets to wake up. My tiny little greenhouse isn't heated, but you can see by looking at it there that the sun does a fine job of starting to warm it up. So all of the green from my upstairs office where I have it under grow lights gets to slowly transition out. That's some happy little parsley and some bee balm and snapdragons. I love to grow things from seed. I feel there's a bit of a challenge to it, and also it's just, you can do so much more, you know, but for the price of one artichoke plant, you can grow a whole flat of them, which I did, and I made a little border along my chicken pen out of it, and I can't wait to show you. I will also be doing a how to start artichokes from seed video pretty soon, but marigolds from seeds that I've harvested off my own plants, bachelor buttons, just such greenness. And along with my greenhouse being filled with growing things and my upstairs lighted area where I start my seeds is all filled up, I also got my first seeds out in the ground, and they are coming up, which is so exciting because winter wasn't over yet. We still had another couple rounds of frosts and snowstorms before the frogs started to come out, the peepers. My writer friends, Savannah and Cynthia, they're in the Midwest, and they were talking about how the peepers were out, the frogs were out early this year, and we never called them peepers, but I decided I really like that, so I'm going to call them peepers from now on, because it's just so, it's like kind of like a daffodil or kind of like a tulip bulb. To call them peepers is a rite of passage into spring, and it's just part of the fun. I have a metal tank, like a square rectangle shaped tank in my garden, and the frogs love it. And the other night I was out there and 4 frogs were croaking from that thing, and I was only a couple feet away, so I might have to go see if I can catch that on video to show you guys, because it's just, like I said, transition. This is, spring is here. It is here, even though this is snow. project this year. I'm trying to incorporate both perennials, making a permaculture for my chickens, but also a composting system. And so I've actually started extra seeds, brassica seeds and pea seeds and chives and different things like that for inside my chicken pen. And I will show you guys that in a later video. I'm looking forward to seeing if this works. My grandson came out into the garden with me. He was a little nervous of those chickens, but he was so cute. And I even got him in my garden in a stroller, which you'll see later. Look at all of that beautiful bark chip mulch. This year I went through and I actually dug my paths out and put the composted wood chips up onto the top of my soil as a mulch itself, and then put fresh chips down, which was actually really fun. My husband and I lost a lot of trees to the big freeze of 2020, and so we've propagated that whole row of laurels right there against the greenhouse so that we can replant. We're gonna plant laurels and fir trees and pine trees and cedar trees and probably some camellia bushes. That's an echinacea in the corner, and I'm just showing you my spring seeds. It's so nice to see the little green coming up. Down there on the left, all the way on the left, I have a little section of onions that's coming up. Oh, there they are. I'm definitely a potager grower where I have flowers and herbs, and look at those little pink hellebores right there, and peonies and all kinds of flowers coming up, and I love to have them mixed directly into my sanctuary space. It's so fun. My garden space drops off very steep as it gets down towards the creek, and I've had a desire to put a flower garden, a wildflower garden down right there, down over behind that bird bath and down here in this space. And I started that this year. It was so good to make some growth on my garden space. So this really steep little space will be filled with more pollinator plants and different wildflowers, and I actually transplanted a lot of columbine and forget-me-nots that had self-seeded in other places in my garden and moved them down there so that I could have it be green more than brown, because that's what April's about. I remember planting this little purple beautiful thing here last fall, but I can't remember what it was. If you can think of it, just let me know. This is a place for crawling and climbing. This is a clematis, and I have a wisteria, and I have plans to train my wisteria, and hopefully be able to train it along the fence in such a way that it won't pull my fence down. They can be kind of a intense grower here in the Pacific Northwest, so I gotta be smart with it. This is the first time I've planted tulips in such a big cluster in this pot that I'm going to show you about real quick here. And I'm just so excited to show it to you when it's full of blooms. I'll probably have to do it in stages, when it first blooms and then when they're all open, because it's just so pretty. This little basket of pansies has made me happy all winter since they were started from seed. As you can see, there's a little bit of slug damage in there too. I just love the detail of these pretty little flowers. Makes me want to paint them. I even thought about painting them on a rock and leaving it in the garden like I have some of these other little paintings that my daughter has done. Slowly but surely, the grass is greening up and the sun is peeking out through the clouds a little more. Pups are loving it better than the snow. Baby plants, this is an echinacea, starting to come through, and we actually had to start mowing our lawn. All kinds of stuff. Spring. My climbing rose is greening out and it's about hip high. I'm so excited about that. I got some work to do on that. I planted those yellow, I forget what those are called. I got them from a neighbor's field and brought them into my space. And this, look, cattail babies. I'm so excited about that. I actually transplanted those last year and I didn't know if they would live there. But so now I have lilies and cattails, lily pads and cattails. It's so fun. Over here, see those alliums that are to the right? They look so different already from the beginning of this video. And I got those from my mom, who passed away in 2019. She gave them to me as a present. So every year they come back. They're kind of a tribute. Obviously, my whole garden is. She taught me to garden starting when I was 13. Forget-me-nots are everywhere. They self-seed everywhere. I'm actually kind of grateful because I have a few places that I want the wildflowers to come up. One of the things that's different for me is that I don't really grow my garden to produce a lot of food and put up a lot of food. I definitely freeze, I definitely dry, I definitely make my own teas, I definitely eat a lot out of it. So this year I'm actually really excited because I have a couple friends who are going to help eat out my garden and give me a reason to plant all the tomatoes so that they can actually preserve some extra stuff. And I'm very pleased about that. And also, there's the Johnny jump ups from before I was telling you about. Peas are planted. I'm really, really cherishing the art and the beauty of my garden space. Like even this little plum tree. Look at all the different flowers on this. It's got graftings of different plums on it. It's just so cool. And I've been just trying to treat my garden like an art expression, kind of like the painting and the writing of the novels that I do. So I've been trying to catch the things that make me want to make my space more beautiful. Like, look at this double bloomed daffodil. Look at how many ruffles are in there. It's just so amazing. And all of it is just so sweet. So on to the next video. I hope you'll click or leave me a comment. Maybe try to answer the question of which flowers I couldn't name. All those kind of fun things. Interaction is really, really beneficial. So appreciate it. See you on the next one.